Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I'd like to thank the Honourable Leader of Opposition for this question. As we all know, the Cyclone Winston left a devastating trail. It came from a side of Fiji which traditionally cyclones don't come from. It affected both maritime areas and, of course, deep rural areas of Fiji, in particular Viti Levu, and, of course, the coastal areas, in particular the northwest of Viti Levu. Madam Speaker, it obviously disrupted a lot of lives, households, communities, and, of course, affected the domestic production of goods and services, including infrastructure, in particular electricity. Madam Speaker, when we presented the 26 budget, we stated that the nation sets its priorities through its budget. After February, Madam Speaker, given the devastation of Cyclone Winston, we readjusted our priorities within the 2016 budget that was approved by Parliament, Madam Speaker. And of course, meeting the basic needs of ordinary Fijians took precedence. Madam Speaker, we also said that government must always be fiscally responsible between balancing worthwhile projects and, of course, against prevailing economic realities. In sticking to these principles, Madam Speaker, we have financed not just the rehabilitation works, but also the relief efforts through the existing 2016 budgetary allocation, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Supplementary question, the Honourable Vande.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Can the Minister inform this House whether the government will put in those villages some of the evacuation centres, as most of the evacuation centres being built by them are being damaged during the cyclones? Centres.
Please, can you just repeat your supplementary question, please?
Can the Minister inform this House whether the government will build evacuation centres for the future, for the villages?
Honourable Minister.
Madam Speaker, there's no doubt, as has been highlighted by the Honourable Prime Minister recently in New York, and as many scientists have said, that climatic events such as tropical Winston will become more frequent. Not just the frequency of it, but the intensity of these cyclones could actually become a lot more demanding for all infrastructure, not just Fiji. Fiji, of course, is now part of the vulnerable 20 groups. Now, part of this is, of course, when you rebuild, is the adaptation measures that we need to engage in. So, for example, one of the issues that we are looking at, when we're building back now electrical cables, shouldn't we be going underground as opposed to having overhead power lines? Because that leaves us more vulnerable. So we need to actually adapt to the environment around us. That obviously has cost implications. Similarly with the evacuation centres, if you're going to build that, and as the Honourable Minister for Natural Disaster Management has highlighted, this is a long-term project in terms of evacuation centres. Traditionally, evacuation centres in Fiji are within schools. But as you saw in the last cyclone, a number of schools were damaged, 226 schools. So he's absolutely right in terms of what will be used as evacuation centres. Needs to be worked out quite thoroughly. Nobody has ever put a plan in place as to what specifically would be that case. And the Minister for Natural Disaster Management obviously will be putting that through his work plan. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Honourable Leader of Opposition. Speaker, maybe the Honourable Attorney General Minister of Finance will make a ministerial statement later on to let us know how exactly government is financing and the figures, please, Honourable Speaker. Just a question to the Honourable Attorney General, in that many people helped themselves right away after the cyclone. They started rebuilding their homes, and the question is, rather than waiting for the cards to be provided, they are asking, is there any tax exemption for construction materials to continue rebuilding their homes or to start rebuilding their homes, and whether there is any assistance for skilled carpenters so that it will be according to the building code. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Just before we request the Honourable Minister to respond to that question, I seek the leave of Parliament that we extend this question time until 1 o'clock, and then we will break for lunch. Does anyone oppose? There being no opposition, thank you. I give the floor to the Honourable Attorney General.
Madam Speaker, the Honourable Leader of Opposition has highlighted something that the Honourable Minister for Natural Disaster Management said, that there are some people who obviously are willing to help themselves. And some people may have already helped themselves in terms of, in particular, reconstructing their homes. In fact, when we went out, there were a lot of people who had. Some people had gone and borrowed money, some people had savings, And of course, FNPF has now disbursed almost $250 million. And people have been able to access either $1,000, $1,000, and $5,000. So with the disbursements of those funds, they have been able to access to funding to be able to do their reconstruction. And Madam Speaker, after Cyclone Winston, there was obviously a shortage, for example, of timber in Fiji. There's a shortage of generators in Fiji, Madam Speaker, and indeed electrical cables. What government has done has allowed these goods to come into Fiji now duty-free, because there is normally tariff rate on them, and those goods have been allowed to come into the country duty-free. In fact, the duty-free period ends at the end of this month. We are at the moment looking at whether we need to extend that duty-free concession to another month or 2 months, and it would appear that there is a very strong case to do that, because there's still a shortage of those building materials. Madam Speaker, as the Honourable Minister of Natural Disaster Management also highlighted, and this partially also addresses what the Honourable Leader of Opposition had highlighted, and that is that what are the initiatives the government is putting in place? Government is also putting in place, as announced by the Honourable Prime Minister, the Help for Homes project initiative. It is very, very significant because it does allow people access to hardware. And we have, Madam Speaker, also, you would have seen the expressions of interest that we call for from hardware companies to give us a maximum price. And we need to be able to then have a level of competition amongst them to be able to get people to have the best pricing from different hardware stores. So these are some of the ways that we're also assisting with various initiatives. The blanket type of tax exemption, I mean, a person in the rural area, when you say tax exemption, most of them don't actually file a tax return. Most of them don't even meet the income tax threshold. So what good will a tax exemption do for them? What is actually beneficial for them if we have allowed certain critical material to come into the country at a duty-free rate? So that reduces the cost, not just the cost, but at the moment the cost is not the issue. The issue at the moment, Madam Speaker, is the availability. Is the availability of some of the critical resources, and that's what we are addressing. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. I now give the floor to the Honourable Mbulitabu.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Just a supplementary question to the Honourable. Just mentioned about the self-help homes initiative announced by the Prime Minister. Only $5,000, $7,000 for totally destroyed house. In 1982, Madam Speaker, through the Alliance government, after 2 cyclones, Gavin and Eric, the Alliance government gave about $5,000. And it's now 34 years later, then nothing has changed. It's only about $2,000 more, considering the standard of living standards. Will government renew the amount that is announced to build resilient, durable, safe houses which are stronger than before Winston?
Honourable Minister.
Madam Speaker, the Honourable Member has gone into areas other than the specific substantive question, but nonetheless I will address some of these issues that he has highlighted. I do not agree with his assessment of the $5,000 they gave. They may have built homes at $5,000. Whether they actually gave $5,000 is a completely different issue. As the Honourable Minister for Natural Disaster Management also highlighted, that there is, through his ministry, another program where they actually go out and build homes for people. And that's already been announced. Madam Speaker, you would have seen the expression of interest called for construction companies who actually can build these homes that government will fund and that meets the various engineering standards. For the first time in Fiji's history, Madam Speaker, we have the government now working in very close unison with the Fiji Institution of Engineers that have given the input in terms of the engineering standards that's required to ensure that we have resilient homes that are actually adapting to the climatic changes that we are having. So, Madam Speaker, in respect of the $7, the $3, and the $1,500, that's essentially based on a basic home that a person needs to live in, and that's enough. The assessments have been carried out that this amount would be enough hardware to be able to help them build a basic home or to actually facilitate it. The reality is, Madam Speaker, that does not, of course, include the labor cost. Many people are actually quite happy. We've already got people phoning us up saying that they're looking forward to this initiative. Madam Speaker, this is the first time that such an initiative has been undertaken. Yes, Madam Speaker, in the past, governments may have built homes, That initiative, Madam Speaker, that initiative of building homes will continue, as the Honourable Minister has highlighted. That's one initiative. The second initiative is where we're giving portable sawmills also. That's a second initiative. This is a third initiative, Madam Speaker. We're actually giving people access to hardware of their choice to be able to go and buy themselves and to be able to rebuild themselves, Madam Speaker. So it's a whole plethora of areas of assistance that is being provided by the government, which is completely unprecedented, Madam Speaker. Thank you.